What's up, guys? So through the course of our videos, we've used some pretty unique basses and we've gotten a few questions about some of them. So I figured I'd show you a couple of the more notable ones I've got. So let's start with my number one, of course. You guys know this one. I just recently put a black pick guard on it, so it looks a little different. I think it looks a little better. I like it a lot. This one's it's standard. It's an American special. And this model was made in 2012 and has since been discontinued. Everything is stock. I haven't changed anything out yet. I'm going to get some new pickups in it. I want to get some Steve Harris P pickups. And I also want to get a hip shot, like a kick-ass, the badass copy type of bridge. And I'm considering doing a drop tune, but I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to do that. The neck profile on this one is a lot slimmer. It's more like a jazz bass, which I really prefer because I started on a jazz bass, so this thing is really at home. And I really dig the tone of a P bass now. I've grown to enjoy that round sound as opposed to that scoop sound. So I use this all the time. I use this at all my shows. I use this in almost every video, so you guys are familiar with this one. So let's take a listen to how this thing sounds by itself. As per usual, we're running through an Ampeg B100R into a Shure Beta 52. Alright, so this is a Fender JP-90. They were made somewhere between 92 and 94. I'm not exactly sure what year this one is. But I went to go visit my dad up in Sacramento one time, and I went to see my uncle. And he knew, this is when I first started playing bass, and he was like, oh, come out to my garage, I want to show you some cool stuff I got. And he had just recently married this woman whose dad had given her his old basses. And this was one of them, and I had never seen anything like it before. I was like, wow, that's really, really cool. And he told me, he's like, your dad has this little generator that I kind of want. And he's like, if you can give me the generator, I'll give you this bass. And so you can guess, I just went running in. I was like, Dad, you don't need it. You don't need the generator. I want the bass. So he ended up giving it to me. I really dig it. It's really cool. I've never seen anything like it. I've never met anybody who has anything like it. He also actually had an old 60s EBO, like an SG bass in there too, but he didn't want to get rid of that because, you know, that's gnarly. That's crazy. So that was actually really nice too. I really like that thing, and I would have loved to have it. But at the time, I wasn't into that tone, so I didn't quite appreciate it. But now thinking back, that was a real instrument right there. So this thing is it's a little different. It's got a jazz-shaped body, but it's a little smaller than a jazz bass. It's really light. It's got a jazz neck too. It feels pretty thin. It's got a weird, like a thinner headstock. A lot of people didn't like that, but I don't really mind it. I think it's kind of cool. It's got a three-way selector switch as opposed to knobs, and it's got just one volume, one tone. And then we put some Seymour Duncan quarter pounds in there, and I don't know what the stock ones were. They're pretty typical though. So we definitely get the most questions about this one. So again, this is a Fender JP-90, USA made. A lot of people complain that it's not up to par for usual USA made Fender things. Like they sell for about $300 to $500. When for a USA Fender, that's really not that much. But I think it's pretty cool. I like it. So this is another one that we get a lot of questions about. This is a 1995 non-reverse Epiphone Thunderbird. It is made in Korea. That's the big thing, is that it's non-reverse. Most Thunderbird basses are going to be that reverse shape, which I think is really cool, but I prefer this. I really wish they'd done more of this. And I really like the pickup configuration. Usually it's like 2 humbucker type pickups. Like when Gibson would do it, they would do the humbuckers, which is also cool. But I really dig this. And it's got a J-style wiring, so it's volume, tone. And I got Bartolini pickups in there. They were in there when I got it. I'm not too sure what came stock. They're pretty nice though. I really don't know the model. I really don't know too much about what's in this, because this is another one I haven't really touched since I got it. Like switching things out wise, everything's just stock is what it came. It's got a pretty high mass bridge. I like it. It resonates nicely, and it's a 5-string, which is pretty cool. That's kind of unlike Epiphone and Gibson to do on a bass. So I got this thing in January of 2016 in the U Center of Guitar Center Northridge. We went out there. We used to go out there a lot. Chris used to live in Simi Valley. We would hang out there and go to some cool music shops out in like the LA area and kind of the valley. And so we saw this and the next bass I'm going to talk about. They were sitting like right next to each other, and I was like, I want them both. Like, how am I going to leave these things here? They're so cool. So yeah, obviously I walked home with it and I still got it, and I don't think I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm probably gonna work on it, make it sound a little better, because it's really, really cool. All right, so this is the last one we're going to show today. This is a Squier 2 precision bass. They made them from the late 80s, early 90s. We're not too sure what year this is. We think it might be a 94 based on the serial number, but that's just kind of a guess. This is the other one I got in Northridge with that Thunderbird over there. They were sitting right next to each other, and I was like, this is just so cool. Like, look at it. It's so cool. And I don't know, you can probably tell in the shots, but it's got this glossy type of like sparkly finish on it, which is really interesting. And since it has no pick guard, it's got a control panel in the back, which I also think is really cool. So this thing's got a plywood body, and it's got, you know, some so-so hardware, electronics, all that stuff. It's all right, but it's apparently got a great neck, and I don't mean apparently because I'm feeling it right now, but what I had read, everybody was just raving about the neck, and I really thought about it and looked at it, and I was like, wow, this thing really is like a high-quality neck. It's got, this is the first one to have the maple fretboard. All the rest of them had rosewood, and I really like maple. It's really bright. I just don't have too many with it for whatever reason. But that's another reason I wanted to get this neck and put it on a different body maybe, because I've just heard so many great things, and it feels so good, and it just looks so sturdy. And it's really cool. I've never seen the Squier 2 thing before. That must have been just a short-lived thing because I really didn't know too much about that. But let's go ahead and take a listen to this one and see what it's like. So I hope you enjoyed going through my basses with me. I hope that answered some of the questions you guys had for us. If there's anything else, feel free to message us. We'll try to answer it, figure out anything we might not know about it right now. So thanks, guys. We'll see you later.